Hello students, today we are going to read the chapter An Adventure at Night. This chapter is an extract taken from a very famous book called The Railway Children. This book was written by Edith Nesbit. She was born in 1858 and died in 1924. She was a famous British author and poet who worked for many political causes. Now let's start reading the chapter. One day Bobby, Phyllis and Peter went up to the canal bridge. They wanted to fish from the bridge, but the line was not long enough. "Let's get down onto the towpath and fish from there," said Bobby. They had just reached the towpath when an old white canal boat came within half a dozen yards of them. They sprang to their feet and hastily climbed up the bank. "What you staring at?" growled a man from the boat. He was a strong, red-faced man. "We were staring," said Bobby. "We wouldn't be so rude." The man came across his deck and began to climb down the side of his boat. Here, one day, 3 children went for fishing to Canal Bridge, but they weren't able to do so from there, so one of them, named Bobby, suggested to go down onto the towpath. They all reached there, and soon one old white canal boat came. They all jumped and quickly climbed up the bank. The man who came from the boat asked angrily to them about what they were staring at there. Bobby answered him that they weren't staring at anything. The man came closer to them. He sprang up the bank and caught Peter by the leg, dragged him down, set him on his feet with a shake, and said angrily, "You have no right to catch fish over here. This is my canal." "We weren't catching fish," said Peter. "Oh," said Bobby, "please don't be angry with Peter. Of course, we didn't know it was your canal." She held out her hands and Phyllis turned out her little empty pocket to show that really they hadn't any fish hidden with them. "Well," said the man more gently, "move along then, and don't you do it again. That's all." The children hurried up to the bank. "Give me a coat, Maria," shouted the man. A woman came out from the cabin door of the boat with a baby in her arms and threw a coat to him. He put it on, climbed the bank and went away. When he was out of sight, Peter said, "The canal may belong to him, but the bridge is everybody's. Dr. Forrest told me it is public property. I'm not going to go away from the bridge." It was almost quite dark, and they were getting tired as it was past bedtime when suddenly Phyllis cried, "What's that?" She pointed to the canal boat. Smoke was coming from the chimney of the cabin. "The boat is on fire," said Peter. "Serves a man right." "Oh, how can you say that?" cried Phyllis. "The baby is in there alone," screamed Bobby. In an instant, all 3 made for the boat. Bobby was first, then came Peter, who slipped and fell. He went into the canal up to his neck, and his feet could not feel the bottom, but his arm was on the edge of the boat. Bobby caught at his hair. It hurt, but it helped him to get out. Next minute, he leaped onto the boat. The man jumped quickly and caught Peter, dragged him in a rough manner, and said in a very angry manner that they had no right to catch fish from his canal. Peter told him that they were not catching any fish. Bobby pleaded requested the man to not get angry with Peter, as they did not know it was his canal. They showed him their empty pockets, their empty hands, to make him realize that they had not caught any fish. After this, the man became a little soft and instructed them to move out of the place and never do that again. The children quickly moved up to the bank. The man spoke in a very loud voice to maybe his wife, "Give me a coat, Maria." Then a woman appeared from the cabin door of boat with a baby in her arms, and she gave the coat to the man. He wore it and went away. After the man was gone, Peter said that the bridge is a public property and he is not going away from here. It was getting dark and the children were getting tired. Suddenly Phyllis cried, pointing to the canal boat, "What's that?" They saw smoke coming out from the chimney of the cabin. Peter told them that the boat has caught fire. They decided to go inside and help the baby as the baby was inside alone. They all ran towards the boat. Peter slipped and fell. Bobby caught him by his hair and pulled him out, and then he also jumped onto the boat. They went down and reached the cabin. They stepped inside the boat, which was full of thick smoke. Peter stopped, remembered all he had ever heard of fires, pulled his soaked handkerchief out of his breast pocket and tied it over his mouth. As he pulled it out, he said, "It's all right, hardly any fire at all." "Hi," said Peter, lifting the handkerchief from his mouth for a moment. "Baby, where are you?" he choked. Just at that moment, a baby started crying. Peter felt his way through the dark smoke, found the baby all soft and warm, picked it up and backed out, nearly tumbling over Bobby, who was close behind. "I have got the baby," said Peter, tearing off the handkerchief and staggering onto the deck. All three of them came out safely from the boat. Phyllis, who was waiting on the bank, heard the quick steps of the woman who flung herself on the railing, rolled down the bank and snatched the baby from the Peter. The man came running behind his wife. He leaped onto the boat and dipped pails of water into the canal. The children helped him and together they put out the fire. The woman thanked the children for saving their child's life. The man too thanked the children and told them that they could fish on the canal whenever they wanted to. Peter and Bobby made their way towards the cabin. They moved inside the boat, which was full of smoke. Peter remembered how to behave in such situations he had learned before. So he put a wet hanky over his mouth and consoled himself that everything is fine. Then he called baby and the baby started crying. Peter reached towards him, pulled him, picked him up and found that he was totally fine and informed Bobby that he has found him. They both came out of boat and reached bank where Phyllis was waiting for them. The mother of child came running and snatched her baby from Peter. The man also came. He dipped buckets into canal to get water and tried to put a fire with that water. The children also helped him in putting the fire off. They thanked the lady and that man. They both thanked the children for saving their child's life. The man offered them that they can come any time and do the fishing on his canal whenever they want to. So here our story ends, and we have also learned something from here, that although the man was rude to them, but the children helped saving the child without holding any grudges, and the man also became gentle later on. So whatever is the situation, always keep your calm and always do the positive and the good things to others, and these positive things will come back to you also. So students, have a nice day and go through the chapter again, and if you have any problems, go through the video again.